Hold up, the 49ers just got surprisingly good news. I want to get to that in a second. I also got some puzzling news that I think I know what I think, but I got to know what you think. You'll have to let me know in the comments when we get to that point in the video. In this video, we're talking about surprisingly good move the 49ers just made, plus some competing reports about another player. We're going to be sifting through the mud. Stick there for all of that. Hit subscribe if you're looking for daily 49ers content, but let's get into the meat, of course, starting with Ben Bartch signing a one-year deal. This one came out of nowhere for me. I had a completely different video planned, and this one came up, but this is, in my mind, a guarantee that Aaron Banks is gone at left guard. This is also, in my mind, this is Ben Bartch playing out of his mind against Buffalo, and this picture you can see on the screen, by the way, is Ben Bartch playing against Buffalo in the snow. That was the game that, if there was one game that got Ben Bartch an extension with the 49ers, that game right there got him an extension. I remember the footage that came out, the PFF grades, everything was looking great for Ben Bartch coming out of that game. You know what? I'm not the only person who has a lot to say about the Ben Bartch move. I'm happy about it. I'm stoked about it. A bunch of other people had a lot to say. I'm going to go ahead and jump through. Like, we're just going to fly through what a bunch of different people are saying about the move and just shed some light on what this means for 49ers. The 49ers today signed Ben Bartch to a one-year contract. He's in the mix to compete for the starting job at left guard, with Aaron Banks expected to cash in during free agency. I expected as well. Matt Barrows, the 49ers often bring in a lower-cost interior offensive lineman in free agency. I can see a team having a competition among the players, Bartch and Nick Sakel, for the starting left guard spots in 2025. David Lombardi, under Shanahan, Lynch, the 49ers have spent big money on offensive tackle and center, but never on guard. Instead, they've used second and third round draft picks on guards and signed vets at bargain rates. We haven't expected that to change this offseason. Bringing Ben Bartch in February 24th is a continuation of that strategy. Agree with that, David Lombardi. Brad from, SF Niners. It took me a second. 49ers signed Ben Bartch, and he could have first crack at competing for starting offensive guard, maybe center position, which I'm all for. Bartch turned in one of the best 49ers offensive line performances of the year versus the Bills. I'd argue if I could, Brad. Great point. Continuing on, Ben Bartch looking promising in his 65 snaps in 2024 with 0 sacks, 1 pressure, 74.8 PFF grade, not too shabby, 98.4% pass blocking efficiency. That is what I'm talking about. All of these stats were career best. Akash, Ben Bartch showed some promise in limited action at left guard. Would expect him to be a strong candidate to fill that role. Think the 49ers draft someone there and just roll with the competition next to Trent Williams. If I had to guess, they go splashy at center instead of left guard. By the way, Nick Sakel was brought up there a couple tweets ago, and Nick Sakel also did during offseason and training camp have to do a little bit of a job at center as well, by the way. While we're throwing it there, if I had to guess, they go splashy at center instead of left guard. Argue if I could. Good point, Akash. With Ben Bartch back, the 49ers starting 2025 offensive line, if the season started today, would be Trent Williams, Ben Bartch, Jake Brendel, Dominic Pooney, and Colton McKivitz. Okay. Bear with me here. This is if it started today. Drew Dahlman, 49ers will get a lot of buzz. Don't forget SF signed Matt Hennessy, Dahlman's predecessor, and Alex Mack's successor in Atlanta. And they also still have Drake Nugent at center. Good shout for Drake Nugent. Don't forget about Drake Nugent. He did get a lot of attention in the offseason. He started to turn a lot of heads during training camp. So there is belief in Drake Nugent, no doubt. The tape doesn't lie on Drake Nugent. From college, okay? Just give it that what it is. Don't forget about Matt Hennessy as well. But question for you, and you can let me know in the comments on this one. Can you consider the 49ers had a great offseason if Jake Brendel is still on this football team? He's under contract, so there's no reason to believe the 49ers are just going to drop him. I haven't looked at the cap hit, but yeah, I'm sure it's insignificant, or at least not majorly significant. Jake Brendel is probably still going to be on this football team next year unless there's some kind of a small trade that could happen, I suppose. And I'm just curious, if the 49ers don't make a move for center, do you feel like you can say confidently this was a great offseason? I think we've already had a great offseason so far. But if we're riding with Jake Brendel at center after the performance he put on last season, I have an issue. That's just where I'm at. Now, you know what? Before I go down a major rabbit hole, because we'll have other days to have that conversation, excuse me, let's move on to some other news that I'm hyped about, that I want to talk about, and then some controversy, some back and forth, some competing reports, let's say. Let's start with Kevin Patra's, what I think is great news for the 49ers. Kevin Patra, NFL.com, had a report, players who could be underpriced, talking about Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw expected to be, in his mind, he only listed 3 potential underpriced players this free agent season. That's crazy, okay? Just think about that for a second. Because as far as I'm concerned, if the 49ers are matching an offer with another team, then in my opinion, Dre Greenlaw is going to stay with the 49ers. Why? Why would Dre Greenlaw choose to leave this brand new Robert Saleh reinvigorated defense? Why would Dre Greenlaw choose to leave if given the same exact deal as another team? Why would he choose to leave his right-hand man, Fred Warner? The only reason I could see Dre Greenlaw, with given 2 opportunities and both completely equal, he would choose the other team only if he would be the starting linebacker. If he really wanted to be the Mike, and that was like, it's my dream. I want to be the Mike. I want to be the future. Like, that's what I'm going to do. What team is going to go out there and give Dre Greenlaw a 1-year prove-it deal to be the Mike? I don't know. If there's a team out there, you can comment it below. I just don't see a team taking that kind of leadership role with a 1-year contract kind of deal. That's just not going to happen, okay? That's just my gut, all right? That's where I'm at. I think all signs in my mind point to Dre Greenlaw takes a deal if given the same opportunity with the 49ers. And if he's underpriced, I believe he's going to get the opportunity. I just believe it. Like, if he's underpriced, if he is priced below his actual value, the 49ers will make a move for Dre. They will keep him in red and gold. That's just my opinion. You let me know if you feel differently. PFF estimates that Dre Greenlaw right now would go for a $6 million a year contract, a 1-year contract with $5 million guaranteed. If I am the San Francisco 49ers front office and I find out that Dre Greenlaw has got one offer on the table for $6 million, $5 million guaranteed, I'm calling Dre and I'm like, dude, I will offer you that deal right now. You can come in, fly in and sign it. I don't care if you want to do it digitally and fax it to me. We're going to make it happen because that is a done deal in my book. That's just my opinion. Saleh, we know from separate reports, wants him back. The question, because I got to be fair, and we're going to talk about what Cam Inman said, which is a competing report here in a second. The question is, were his 34 snaps in 2024 enough to feel confident he'll be back with a vengeance? What do you think? Where are you at? Where's your head at, 49ers fans? Faithful, tell me, where are you at on that? Because in my mind, when I say those words, I'm like convincing myself, no. 34 snaps isn't enough to convince me he'll be back with a vengeance. But everything else in my mind is like, yeah, 100%. He's going to be back with a vengeance. So I don't know if I'm just too close to it. I don't know if I just need to be like step aside or whatever. And I've listened to what some of the national media has to say about it, and I don't even feel like they get it. So let me know, Faithful, where you're at on that one. I don't think his 34 snaps were enough to give confidence alone. So yes, best case scenario for him. I'm sorry. 49ers are not going to offer him a 3-year contract. They will, however, I believe, offer him a 1-year prove-it deal, and I think that's a good situation for the 49ers. Several of you in the comments recently saying the same kind of thing, that 49ers are going to offer a prove-it deal, and that's the only way Dre Greenlaw is going to be playing in red and gold this year. And you know what? If he gets a 2 or 3-year contract offer somewhere else in a starting linebacker role, he's probably going to do it. He's probably going to take it, and it's going to break my heart. I love this guy, and I feel like we were seeing the future. And we were seeing a Navarro Bowman kind of guy. Like, we need that second guy next to Fred Warner so badly. And I would love for it to be Dre. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I got to move on to the competing report, however, from Cam Inman saying this. Excuse me. An under-the-radar headache that could really impact this offseason's spending. Fred Warner's contract extension. He owed $17.7 million in salary each of the next 2 seasons, and the 49ers will have to do for him what they did a year ago in paying more to Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams. Dre Greenlaw's future isn't directly tied to Warner's extension, but it's hard to see the 49ers also affording Greenlaw, whose health is a bigger red flag than any monetary demands. Okay, so couple statements here that we got to break down that I'm going to disagree with some of them and agree with one of them. I will agree that his health is a bigger red flag than the monetary demand. Meaning, had he been healthy all season and the projection was $6 million per year, the 49ers got that done a long time ago. Just where I'm at. Had he been healthy all season and the AAV was $6 million per year, or the cap hit was $6 million per year, 49ers got that done a long time ago. Like, no doubt. However, that's the only part I'm going to agree with. I'm going to disagree that a contract extension for Fred Warner is going to hurt chances for Dre Greenlaw. I think that they'll help. And I want to be clear. I don't know anything that Cam Inman doesn't. I just believe that the 49ers, Fred Warner included, by the way, are not going to do a contract extension that hurts the chances of Dre Greenlaw coming back. I believe Fred Warner wants him back. Fred Warner's wife wants Dre and his girl back. So from every angle on Fred Warner's point of view, he wants Dre back. Greenlaw would be cheaper than most available free agents because of injury concern. I think that means that when they look at the other guys out there, even if a contract extension with Fred Warner does have a negative financial impact on the cap hit this year, which I don't think it will, I think Fred Warner's just young enough that you can still have it kind of affected years out. But whatever, even if it did, I still think you look at Greenlaw and say, best value on the market right now, Dre Greenlaw. You look at the free agents available, Dre Greenlaw. Now, if you want to draft a linebacker and you want to say, D. Winters, you are in 100%, and you want to put all the eggs in that basket, then okay. I'm not saying I like it. I'm okay with it. I accept it's the reality, but I believe the 49ers desperately, I think Fred Warner desperately deserves to have a quality veteran sidekick. That's just my take. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate your take as always. I think Greenlaw should be considerably healthier with the entire season and off-season off. He got just enough football to taste it. He's going to be hungry. He's going to be raring to go for training camp. And he probably isn't going to get a better opportunity than a prove-it deal with the 49ers, staying alongside Fred Warner, serving under Robert Saleh, in town for a prove-it season, and have the shot for a big contract next offseason. That's where I'm at. I look forward to seeing what you have to think about this one. This is a fascinating one. Obviously, respect Cam Inman's position, despite that I disagree with it. And let me know what you think about it. I think this is a great one. This is an interesting conversation. And what the 49ers do here is going to be, hopefully, golly, I feel dangerous saying this, could be in some ways season defining what the 49ers do with the linebacker position. We saw how big of an impact it had on an already struggling defense under Nick Sorensen, and I do not want to see that again. I would love to see the 49ers make a move, keep Greenlaw here, or by golly, if you're going to go get somebody else, go get a veteran. Please go get a veteran to be alongside Fred Warner. The 49ers need it. Fred Warner deserves his money, and so does the 49ers defense. So the 49ers defense also deserves to have a quality second in command linebacker. That's where I'm at.